you guys. Welcome to our Tuesday live Q&A here at Decker Truckline. My name is Jessie and I will be your host for today. No, I'm just joking. Hey, so thanks for joining me. Bad audio. I know, Patrick, that was on my cell phone. I was trying to get a good idea of a pre-trip, setting up the refrigerated unit for the pre-trip. So yeah, I know it wasn't the best of audio. Need to do a better job of that. So yeah, let's talk about what we've got going on today. We're going to talk about the pre-trip and a couple of the reminders on some of our calendar submissions and other games that we've got going on, because you know we've got oodles of games. It is the time of season, I guess, for 'tis the season. So I want to remind, just straight out right before we do anything, for our calendar submissions, our 2020 calendar, today is the last day that you can get your submissions in. They have to be in today, and you send them in to marketing@Decker Mail. The requirements for that calendar is that it needs to be a picture of the tractor trailer, and in either a one of our customers' lots, a Pilot, Flying J, like just anywhere out there. It could be a landscape. I'm sure we've got some beautiful pictures. I know we've got some beautiful pictures. Patrick's been busy taking some good ones. Being a perfectionist on it though, right? And getting some good ones out there for us. So we do appreciate that for all of you who have taken the time to take those pictures. And for all of you who have some on your phone or on your camera or whatever, get those into marketing@Decker Mail today, because if you don't get them in by today, you're out of luck. You're gonna have to wait till next year if we do it next year or whatever. I'm not sure if this is gonna be an annual thing or not. So we did it quite some time ago. So it'll be interesting to see if it is something that we do often. But the winners of the calendar submissions, or the photo submissions, will get their pictures in the calendar, along with, of course, courtesy of giving credit where credit is due on those, and who they are. So we need to know who it is that's submitting, because sometimes the email addresses don't give that away. Sometimes the Facebook Messenger doesn't give that away either, at least not all the time. So if you could put your name in there, that'd be fantastic. And then let us know where you took that picture and when, year, time of year, anything like that. We'll take all kinds of options, because there's 12 months in a year. We could use anything from January to December, and obviously we've got quite a bit of fall pictures because we released it this late in the year. If we do it again, I think we're gonna have to release it earlier so we get more of a combination. We did get one from what year was it? I think it was in the 80s of the tractor. It was pretty sweet. But you guys, if you haven't already followed us on Facebook, facebook.com/Detail Inc. You can see a lot of those photos there. Not all of them are submitted, but a lot of them have been on the Facebook. So we've been getting a lot on the Facebook. Dated right there. All right, Steametrics update. So I do want to give you an update on the Steametrics that we had. Normally we have a drawing every week. Yesterday, if you were on the Facebook Live, I said that there wasn't anybody that was that had submitted here this last week in the Steametrics. And our Steametrics are our surveys. There we go. The surveys that we have you do. You'll be getting a call, a text, something like that from a 574 number. And that 574 number is just Steametrics on behalf of us doing the surveys, trying to get that information to us on where we can improve, how orientation was, how the training was, what you feel needs to be improved on. Our goal really is to learn how to make things better for you, how to improve. And the surveys for the initial survey when you first come aboard with Decker, the 14-day survey and the 45-day survey, those are not anonymous, which is a good thing in my mind. Whoops, sorry, I'm throwing my mouse. Which is a good thing, because then we can reach out to you and hopefully answer some of those questions, address some of those issues, and address them head on and see if we can make those improvements. Now, with those of you who have been here for a year or longer, we have our annual surveys. Those are anonymous. So those are anonymous, and again, still 574 number that you'll be getting the survey from. You can take it on your tablet, you can take it on your telephone or cell phone, or on your laptop or anything like that. But just take the time to fill out those surveys. You have 1 more week to get those in, and the survey, like I said, it's there to help us improve. But you have 1 more week to get that in and still qualify for our drawings. So every week we're doing a drawing. 3 winners you get from those of you who have filled out the application. If you didn't fill out the application, you're not in there for the drawing. And yesterday I misinformed you because I said we didn't have anybody this week that filled out the application or filled out the surveys, which is true. That part's true. Where I misled you is that I didn't realize we were still drawing for the week, even though we didn't have any new submissions or surveys filled out. So there we go. Let's get you the new drawings. So the new names for our Stay-O-Metrics drawing, we have a $50 gift card to the Decker store. We have a $50 Walmart gift card and a $50 Visa gift card. So yeah, they only take like 10-15 minutes. The winners in no particular order because I wasn't sure how they were assigned yet, but Kenneth Harden is one of our winners for this week for the Stay-O-Metrics survey, Daniel Fitzgerald, and Rainer Hanna. So those are our 3 winners for our Stay-O-Metrics survey this week. And you guys will be notified. Your driver manager will let you know, Jessica will let you know, and Steph will get those out to you, I'm sure, here pretty quick, or if you haven't already been notified. If you have any questions, you can feel free to put it in the comment box. The chat, Anna and I will take care of you, answer any questions that you have, hopefully live here. If you're watching the replay, no worries. You can put the comments or question in there and we can answer it for you as well. Or give one of the recruiters a call, 888-668-0698. All right. So so that was my Stay-O-Metrics. We have more games for you because we don't want you to get bored. You know, Halloween. You guys been seeing Mr. Bones out there? Mr. Bones on our Facebook page, all over the place. He's in work, in the operations, in the operations department. He's all over the place. But that's part of our Halloween competition. So we do have 3 different games for our Halloween. Let's get that up here for you to see. The Halloween display contest, which is probably what you're seeing right now, all over our Facebook page, is either your workplace, your workspace, your front yard, your truck, backyard, wherever. This is the Halloween display contest. So wherever you have Halloween displayed, feel free to get those submissions in. Now you have until the 1st of November. The 4th is when we'll be announcing it on our Facebook Live. So we'll announce the winners on the 4th, but you have until the 1st to get your submissions in. So get those into marketing@deckermail.com. Again, you should be pretty familiar with that email address, marketing@deckermail.com. And we'll award, that's the word I wanted, 1 prize for that display contest. Now, in addition to the display contest, we also have the pumpkin carving contest. So if you want to put your skills to work and show us how creative you can be and send some of those pictures our way or videos our way, we'll get some of those posted for everybody to enjoy as well. So that's the pumpkin carving contest. Same deadline, the 1st of November. 1st of November, and that way our communications action team, they can do the judging on there and make sure that we're fair in our judging. Oh, Patrick says, I'm so bummed I couldn't get to Mount Rushmore in time. Oh, no way. You wanted to wash your truck and take it up from there for some pics. Are you in Mount Rushmore right now? Yeah, having a clean truck is pretty nice, but having a view like Mount Rushmore, my goodness, that could be nice. So back to the pumpkin carving contest. Make sure you get those in by the 1st of November. And then there was the costume contest. So whether it is just you doing a solo costume, if it is magnificent, or if you've got some team members that you want to team up with and want to do a friends and family or whatever type of costume theme, then you can do that as well. So we've got individual costumes, we've got group costumes for the family and friends, and of course, you gotta have the pets. So if you've got a dog that rides along with you, make sure that you put him in a costume whether he likes it or not, and take a picture and send it our direction. And marketing@deckermail.com is where you're sending all of those. Oh, you couldn't get a load in time, Patrick. Did you try? You probably did. That would have been cool. But if we, get some of those pictures when you're out there and you're on the road. I know I'm skipping back and forth. That's what I do. But Patrick and I have got a side conversation coming over here, and he's talking about getting over to Mount Rushmore, or having not been able to get over to Mount Rushmore to get some pictures. That'd be pretty cool. Take those pictures. If you're in these locations, you have the best window seat or the best view of outside of your office window compared to the rest of us. I mean, I definitely don't. But you have a great view. Make sure that you guys are taking pictures. Capture those moments. Obviously, capture them when you're not driving, but capture some of those moments and take a few, do a walk around, get some exercise, get some fresh air while you're at it, and hopefully you can enjoy the scenery as well. There's historical landmarks out there. There's just beautiful landscapes, as far as I'm concerned. Get them before the weather gets nasty. And then maybe if we do this again, you'll be able to submit some of those pictures for next year too. But this year, we have today, last day to get those in. Marketing@deckermail.com for the 2020 calendar submissions. Hey, Anthony. Anthony says, I need a job. Anthony, where do you live? Where do you live? Fill me in. I can tell you what we've got out of there. Awesome. Okay, so we can talk a little bit about some of the different positions that we have available too. If you live in the Midwest, we've got a whole slew of options for you. Great combination of home time, guaranteed pay in some divisions, especially the Kansas City area for our Midwest refrigerated. We have guaranteed pay for our flatbed divisions, not only the short haul, but also, not only the Midwest regional, but also the short haul is what I should have said. So we've got great opportunities for you there. And the short haul is going to get you home more than just on a weekly basis, like our guaranteed pay in the refrigerated division and the flatbed division. But the guaranteed pay in the short haul division is actually going to get you home every other day, every day, or 3 times a week. And it just depends on where you live, on obviously where we can, or what kind of home time that we can offer you. So I hope no. Yeah, but Patrick, even if someone steals your idea, it's and as long as the weather cooperates, it's not a bad thing. Competition is not a bad thing. You just outshine the competition, right? Competition is good. It makes you better. That's what we're going off of for the rest of the day. Excellent. Yeah, I do want to remind you, since Patrick brought it up, with the weather, I never know what's going to happen, but please be aware of the weather out there. Weather reports can be or cannot be accurate, so I do obviously want you to make sure that you're checking the weather reports, planning your day, taking the time to plan for possible unexpected weather delays or anything else. It could be anything from weather to construction to anything else. So please be careful out there. Make sure that you're preventing accidents, you're protecting yourself, you're taking the time to prepare. And doing a proper pre-trip is a huge part of all of this. And that's why I started off today's YouTube live with just a video of a proper pre-trip on our refrigerated unit. We've been talking a lot about our flatbed and doing proper pre-trips, of course, on our flatbed too. But you're seeing more of the flatbed with the bungee basics that we did for the video there, the proper tarping technique. So you're seeing more of hands-on lately with our flatbed. Plus we have our flatbed tarping tool that we're kind of the game we're playing right now, or the contest to get in a tarping tool. So if you're a flatbed driver and four-decker, and if you have your own technique or your own tool that you've been using for tarping, please send it in. That's a submission. We've got a contest going on right now We're looking for something that's durable. We're looking for something that's lightweight and obviously very effective in getting the job done. So, and inexpensive as well. What we plan on doing is getting it to all of our flatbed drivers so that everybody has a tool that works effectively. So you can get that in to marketing@deckermail.com. So here, this is our tarping tool. I probably should have popped that up there for you. So our tarping tool, the submissions, you have until the 29th of November. So you definitely have some time. If you show a video, I think that is probably the handiest thing. If you can show a video of you using it and showing how easy to use it is, where you store it, how easy it is to store, of course it's lightweight, it's durable, those are all the requirements, but we're looking for something that's user friendly. All just back to the pre-trip, having a tool that you can use and knowing where it's located and storing that properly, knowing where everything else on your truck and trailer is, and making sure that everything is up to par on there. There's no breaks or leaks, or everything's properly bolted down, everything's secure, not only the load itself, but the tractor and trailer. Everything on that is secure too. You're checking the alternator, you're checking the batteries, you're checking all of the hoses, the clamps on the hoses and everything, making sure that they're all in good working order. You're checking all of the tires. You should be doing a complete walk around on the tractor and trailer to make sure that everything, both sides, even if you might have the same thing on one side as you do the other, get down, get on your hands and knees and make sure that everything is in order. Your safety is the reason you're doing a pre-trip, besides just making sure that you're on top of the maintenance of the truck, is to make sure that your safety is key. Safety is number one, always. And whether it's your safety, the safety of others out on the road, or the safety of the load, safety is number one. So you guys, I ask that you please be careful. Patrick says, again, check those bunk heaters, guys and gals. You don't want to be in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming. True story. And find out that it doesn't work. Freezing your bun off is not fun at all. No, I hate being cold. Something fierce. Hate being cold. We have bunk heaters in all of our trucks, you guys, but you do need to make sure that they're working properly. Just because they worked when you turned, last time you used it back in, May or June or July, depending on where you were at in those locations, that doesn't necessarily mean it's working now. So as always, make sure that those are working. Good point, Patrick. Thank you. And that way, if you do end up being in some nasty weather or in some cold weather, that you've got some heat. APUs on all of our trucks, the bunk heaters. We do have refrigerators on all of our trucks. We have, what else? Onboard scanners. We have the Smart Drive system, there's a lot of safety features in all of our trucks too. So the Smart Drive system is inward and outward facing event recorders, along with a whole slew of information that regulates hard braking, following too close, all those things that you need to be well aware of and habits that you need to maintain to help improve your driving skills. So that's what that Smart Drive system is all about. Plus the lane departure system, those are all there. We have the Omnitrax Qualcomm ELD system. We've got the navigation that's part of the Omnitrax. If you don't know how to use the navigation, or if you're struggling, you can find one of our videos. Actually, I think it was last week's video was on the Omnitrax navigation, so how-to on using it properly. Kind of put a more condensed version in, so you didn't have to listen to me talk forever, and you can view that as well on our YouTube channel. So if you haven't already, check out our YouTube channel for a lot more of that information. And don't forget to subscribe, because obviously every Tuesday we go live for a Q&A, but throughout the week we might have a video or two as well that goes live that might help you to properly secure a load, storing things properly, things like that. And we'll be putting together some other informative information to answer some of the questions that we've got here recently, especially like with hanging chains. We'll be providing some of that information as well. The chains, we do ask that you're putting them in the side boxes of the newer trucks. That's what those side boxes are for. Now, not all of you have the brand new trucks that have those new side boxes in them. So in that case, we do ask that you're hanging and putting them in a secure spot. Some of you guys that don't run up into the Northwest or don't run the mountains very often, some of you guys are storing them in the bunk, and that's fine as long as you've got room and for yourself as well, and that they're secured. They're not getting tangled up. Properly storing them can help maintain the life of your chains too. And chains are detrimental. You're using them to get out of trouble, not to get yourself into trouble, as a reminder, but you're using those to put yourself in a safe spot, a safe haven, and or get through a rough patch. But it's not to be going down the road 15, 20, 30 miles. It's just to get you out of the spot you're in, or oh, good point, Anna. Anna has posted a quote by Patrice. Patrice is our smart man. He's in charge of that. But one comment that he's made, now Patrice has got a lot of driving experience, if you guys don't already know that. He's been an owner-operator for many years, but he definitely knows his stuff. And he knows that you're always learning. So a superior driver never allows a situation to deteriorate to that of the superior driving skills becoming a necessity. So basically, don't put yourself in the position where you're having to be amazing and you're going to have to step up and test your skills. You know, like I said, competition is good, but testing your skills on the bout of safety is not a good idea. No, it is not. All right, I see that my screen is frozen. Well, let's see if I can fix that for you guys. No guarantees. Sometimes electronics are not my friend. There we go. All better. All better. All right, Katie girl, you are frozen on my screen, even with refreshing. No, nobody else was having that problem, Katie. Just you. Just joking. Positive posting. Did you guys check out our newsletter? So Jessica sent out the newsletter yesterday, and we've got some great family pics of some of our, not only our drivers, but some of our fleet managers, logistics as well. One of our recruiters, Tanya, shout out to Tanya. But that's what our, all better, yes. Okay, that's what our newsletter is all about, just giving an update on some of the company happenings, and some of the activities that we've been doing together. So smart posting, this thing, what it's all about, the power of a positive post. So you all know that negativity kind of feeds off of more and more, but yet we all love a positive, bright post. We love to see someone who's doing well. We like it more when it's us that's doing well, but we do like to see positive posts. So if you're on Facebook, if you're on review sites, that's the other thing. There's lots of review sites out there as well. You know, you can always post positive. It leads to other conversations. And if there's something that we need to work on, if you're posting about Decker, if there's something that we need to work on, let us know so that we can address it and make it right. However, posting positive, whether it's about your job, about your life, or whatever, it helps to create more engagement as well on what's going on around you. So if you are posting about Decker, it leads to opportunities of our referral bonus. And if you guys aren't already aware of our referral bonus, it can be pretty hefty. It can be a $1,500 to up to $2,500 per driver that you refer, and it pays out within 90 days of their starting. So that's another option. But the power of a positive post, just positivity, if we can change all of our mindset and focus on the good in life, I think that's always a good thing. Most definitely. I wanted to also bring up, just as a reminder for you guys, I'm going to put this up on the screen for you. So to our refrigerated van drivers, this has been a conversation here quite often lately. There we go. Our customers continue to add hoops for us to jump through, and this is in our newsletter, by the way. And it makes it difficult to charge for detention. So we definitely need your help with this, because we don't want you guys not getting the money that you deserve. We want to make sure that we're getting, if you earned it, you're getting it. We don't want the holdups where they are. But sometimes holdups occur, especially in instances like this. So writing your arrival time down, your appointment time, and your empty time on your bill of lading is one of the easiest ways for us, or for you, I guess, as a professional driver, to collect the money that is owed to the company. So if you're documenting that information for us, we have more to go to with the customer to get that going quickly. Plus, as long as you're getting your paperwork in quickly, remember, get the TransFlow app. You've got TransFlow on your phone. If you don't, you have an onboard scanner in the truck as well. But you have the tools to get your paperwork in right away. So please get your paperwork in within 24 hours of the load delivering. This is going to help meet the customer demands, because a lot of them do have the demands that the paperwork needs to be in right away. We need to submit the detention sooner in order to receive the detention. There's more restrictions on that by the customer than people realize. So to help us make it work better for you, please get your paperwork in quickly. Get it in within the first 24 hours so that we can do our job to get you that money. And if a shipper or receiver refuses to document the detention time, then go ahead, write it on your bill of lading yourself. Just document it so it's not up there and you're guessing, 2-3 weeks later. But please make sure that you're documenting it on your bill of lading and scanning in the paperwork, whether it's through the TransFlow app or whether it's through the onboard scanner there in the truck. So if you take care of those 2 simple steps, it'll make this process internally so much more efficient for you. And if you have any questions, get a hold of your fleet manager and we can address it with them as well. So thanks, you guys. That would be really handy, just marking down your arrival, your empty time, and all of that. So yes, Patrick, exactly. Being held accountable. And we want to make sure that we're doing, sometimes, yes, we have to go over and beyond to make sure that we're being accountable ourselves and being held accountable so that we can hold others accountable, right? All right, but that way we're doing our due diligence, and you can't say otherwise, right? Well, let's do some celebrations here. We have Driver of the Month. These are our September Driver of the Month. So, you already see it, but our Western Refrigerated Driver of the Month, Travis Shelvin, is the winner. Roy Middlestead, he was our nominee. And then Midwest Refrigerated, our winner, Brian Robin, and Daniel Sturr, Christopher Zwick. We have those 2 for our nominees. Now, the reason that there's 2 nominees in our Midwest Refrigerated is because of the number of drivers in the Midwest Refrigerated division. So the number of nominees, as other divisions grow, they have opportunities for additional nominees throughout. So our Midwest Flatbed, Anthony Clayton is our winner, and the Southern Flatbed, Stephen Coyle, is our winner, and John Hodges is our nominee. We didn't have a team winner this month, it looks like. We have owner-operator, lease purchase, Robert Maxey for our winner, and our trainer, Monty Moore, for our winner. Now remember, with the Driver of the Month, you get a prize, or you earn a prize, I guess, or an award for Driver of the Month. As it is, you get gift cards from Walmart. You've got the Decker store for the nominees as well. So you've got different levels of prizes for Driver of the Month. But in addition to that, if you get Driver of the Month, you're in the running for Driver of the Year. And Driver of the Year is rewarded $3,000 for the Driver of the Year of that division. But beyond that, we have our Grand Champion. And if anybody wants to know how awesome it is to be a Grand Champion, just ask Steve Alger. he might tell you. But this Grand Champion gets the $15,000, which is awarded usually in April, but it's for the previous year. So the 2019 winner will be probably rewarded in April. I think that's usually when we do it. March, April, somewhere around there. But that's a $15,000 cash prize that will be rewarded to the winner. $3,000 for each of the divisions, and you'll be a division winner as well as the Grand Champion. So it's one of the division winners that wins the Grand Champion prize, and it's a Driver of the Month that is the winner of Driver of the Year. You can't win Grand Champion back to back, but you can win the Driver of the Year back to back. We had the same team actually. We've had, and I think actually Chad Hazelton, I might have to double check. I think Chad Hazelton won 2 years in a row. And then for the teams, we had Judy and I think Judy and Gary did 2 years in a row for the teams for driver of the year too. So yeah, you can win that 2 years in a row, just not the grand champion. So there, it is up for grabs. Earn it. And most of those who are getting the driver of the month, their scorecard is is consistently high. So the scorecard is a combination of your miles, your idle time and fuel efficiency, your what else? Your CSA points, making sure that you don't have any CSA points. If you were designated CSA points, you could very well have lost the driver of the month for that because of it. Because it's all based off your scorecard. So usually someone with a scorecard 950 or above is going to be rewarded the driver of the month. Usually, that's not necessarily the requirement. You do need to have one of the top scorecards in order to earn driver of the month. But that's the tendency. And the most that you can get on your scorecard is 1,000. So the $1,000 gets you the extra 4 cents a mile, or $1,000. The 1,000 points on your scorecard gets you the extra 4 cents a mile for the month. And that's part of our monthly bonus. So it's not only, that scorecard is not only used for our driver of the month, like gaugings, but also for the monthly bonus. Now, also for driver of the month, we use the Smart Drive system, which I had mentioned earlier that Patrice is our Smart Drive man. And he helps to gauge, habits, hard braking, lane departures, those type of things that are triggered or identified, I guess, on the Smart Drive system. So help us to learn better driving habits. So that's our driver of the month. You have an opportunity to still win driver of the month for October, November, and December. So do your best. Yes, indeed. A reminder as well for the tarping tools. Or not tarping tool, but the tarping policy. We've talked a lot about, it's right on my head, there we go. We talked a lot about the pre-trip for the refrigerated and the flatbed. Don't forget that when you're doing your pre-trip, you do need to make sure that you're checking all the securements of your tarp as well, your tarping and securement for the flatbed. So not only where you're storing it, but also the securement of it. And you're pretty much going to be tarping the majority of the loads. Just kind of assume that. Unless your driver manager tells you otherwise, assume that you're going to be tarping them. Okay? What else am I missing? I think that's it. Do you? No, indeed. All right. I do want to take a minute. Hopefully we have the address here for you. But before we talk a little bit more about the pre-trip, you guys, if you don't already know, Don Neely, he was a Decker driver, a Western driver, I guess, for us for the last 10 years. Don has been battling single cell cancer for the last 13 months. And on the 17th, he passed away. So I know that a lot of you guys know him. He's, like I said, he's been here for a while. He's been in the industry for forever. And if you could take the time to reach out to his family and please give your condolences. They do right now have a GoFundMe page, and if you can help with some of those expenses, not only the burial probably, but also a lot of the medical expenses I'm sure that he may have had through all of that. 13 months is how long he battled. And he was really hopeful. He checked in with Alan. Alan Henderson was his driver manager forever. He knows Alan quite well. And I can't even tell you how long they've worked together, but I know that they've both been here for at least 10 years and worked together before that. But they definitely had a strong relationship, and he'd call in every couple weeks, talk to Alan, give him an update. We thought he was doing better, and he was fighting hard. He was ready to get back in the truck, no surprise. If you know Don, if you knew Don, no surprise, but that he was ready to hop back in. But on the 17th, he did pass away, and so it won't. Okay, so if you can go to our Facebook page, we're not able to provide the link here. I'm gonna try and get the link out to you guys for the GoFundMe page for Don. See if I can do it. I might have to go back in and provide the link, but yeah. So if you could reach out to him, the family is having a service, a memorial service on Thursday, at 12:30. So Thursday the 24th, is that right? Thursday the 24th at 12:30 p.m. And that is at the Church of Gates in Missoula. So that is in Missoula. And then following that, you'll be going to the Veterans Cemetery. It's next to Big Sky High School, and you'll be going there for the burial service. So if you can, that would be great to just reach out to the family and let them know. I talked to his son Donnie, and he said, Don absolutely loved Decker. Couldn't wait to get back to driving, which we all knew because he loved to drive. But please reach out to the family. Let them know that they're in our thoughts and prayers, and if you can help, if you can be there for them, please be so. So it's always hard to have a family member, to lose a family member, and when you guys have been together for so long and work together for so long, it's very similar. It's their family, and so it's hard to lose them. So let's get into our pre-trip. Again, we talked a little bit about the flatbed, making sure that you're checking the securements of everything. You're responsible with your pre-trip. You're responsible to do it, flat out. It is your responsibility, it is your duty to do a pre-trip, whether you're refrigerated or whether you're flatbed. You need to do both the tractor and the trailer. Sometimes when you're picking up a trailer, somebody might not have left it like they should have. You're always supposed to leave things better than you found them, right? Got to remind people to do that. Got to remind you, please leave things better than you found it, and do a proper pre-trip. Make sure the tires are properly inflated. Make sure that there's no additional wear and tear or uneven wear on the tires. Check all the hoses, check the brakes, check, get underneath, check everything, make sure that there's nothing low hanging, that all the tubes and everything are secured, they're buckled in where they need to be, things are bolted tight, that the bolts aren't coming undone. But again, you are responsible for a pre-trip, and you're responsible for the documenting the pre-trip. If you're not documenting the pre-trip, it wasn't done. That's all part of it. That's your responsibility, because if you were to be pulled in for an inspection, that's something that they're going to be looking at for you. They want to make sure. It does happen, picking up a defective trailer, and it's, that's frustrating. You're taking time by not double checking and not leaving things better than you picked them up. You're putting it into somebody else's hands. Maybe they're rushing. Maybe they have been given less time on that load than you to get it taken care of. And between when you drop it off and when they pick it up, who's to say that we wouldn't have been able to get somebody out there to get those repairs, to take care of that repair and get it done before the next person picked it up and got on the way. So please take the time. It could just be a phone call to let the shop know, to let somebody know that there is a defective trailer or there's an issue with the trailer. But that's all part of a pre-trip. Making sure that, like I said, everything's properly bolted, no leaks, tears, abrasions, that you have plenty of extra fluids just in case. So you've got your oil, making sure that you've got the proper oil as well. It should be in your side kit, I guess, side kit of the truck. So is where we keep a lot of that, along with some of the additional safety gear, flares and cones. And be consistent with your pre-trip. If you kind of bounce around like I do in a conversation, you're probably gonna miss things. So make sure that you are being consistent. Have a checklist. Where's my piece of paper? Get a checklist out. Make sure that you're going through that checklist one by one, and knocking off everything that you need to check on. If you've got the brakes on one side and you need to check the brakes on the other, do it. You know, if you check these tires but not those tires, they could be a different wear on them. You know, something might be imbalanced. So you need to double check everything. That's part of the proper pre-trip. And as a reminder, go to our blog and hop on there. Oh, that doesn't help when I don't write it correctly. But hop on our blog and find I'm trying to think of always do a proper pre-trip. That's where it was. I couldn't remember what it was. Short-term memories. But hop on our blog, and if you go to drivedecker.com, which is our main website, and then go to the blog there and scroll down and click blog. It'd be nice if I showed you here. There we go. Left screen. Y Decker, then to the blog, and then you can scroll through and find it. Now I knew the web address, so it's always do a proper pre-trip. But these are the checklists. Open them up, do a proper pre-trip. You see that? This is one by one. This is making sure that you're catching everything. You've got everything in the cabin of the truck, the hood, exterior tractor positions. You've got the exterior trailer positions. Scrolling down, you've even got a visual here. Inside the cab, checking all the air loss, ABS, driver, making sure that you're licensed, that you're responsible, you're doing the documentation, and then of course heading off on your safe trip, making sure that everything's ready to go beforehand. Those are all things that you need to be checking on when you're doing a proper pre-trip. So that's the refrigerator. Here's the flatbed. Same. Scrolling further down, inside the cab, driver, what you're responsible. Well, you're responsible for all of it, but you know what needs to be on hand for you. So those are all things, and you can get quite a bit of information on our blog if you haven't already. Updates on a lot of our info. Check out our blog. There you go. There's the navigation. So if you're trying to find something, you can't find it on our YouTube channel, it could be on our blog or our Facebook page. So making sure you're checking all those locations. But the Omnitrax navigation, this is going to also give you a how-to in doing that. So hopefully you guys find that helpful as well. But that's the pre-trip, making sure that you're doing your checklist. And as a reminder, the Omnitrax ELD system does offer that capability right there on the Omnitrax or the ELD system itself to be consistent. The HVIR, that's there to make sure that you're consistently going through the pre-trip, and that way you don't miss anything. If you're consistent, you are better off. Prepare for the trip, protect yourself, and prevent accidents and incidents on the road. Absolutely, Anna. Absolutely. So for all of you who are wondering about what we have available for our flatbed, we actually do have a couple of different options. If you're looking for over-the-road options and you want to be based out of Bessemer, Alabama, and then you'd be running a lot of the Southeast and a lot of the Midwest. It is coast to coast, but that's the majority of it is Southeast and Midwest. It's depending on where you live, the home time could be weekly if you live in Alabama or Georgia. It could be every 2 weeks. The Carolinas, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri could be every 2 weeks in those locations. If you live in California or Oregon or Washington, you're going to be out about 4 weeks at a time. But we do hire out west as well in that flatbed. It's just longer out time before we can get you home. And then if you're in the Midwest, you're going to have a couple different options. Some of our flatbed, over-the-road flatbed, gives you opportunity in the Midwest, Iowa, Illinois, parts of Missouri. Like I mentioned, you can do both the over-the-road division as well as more of the Midwest division, which would get you home a little bit more often. So our Midwest division can get you home, again, depending on where you live, especially Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, parts of southern Minnesota, Nebraska. You're looking at weekly home time in our flatbed division, and basically Omaha to Chicago area is the weekly home time for the flatbed. And then what else can I tell you for that? We do require 3 months of over-the-road experience for flatbed if you live in the Midwest. If you're wanting the over-the-road position, the coast-to-coast, then expect at least 6 months, or we require at least 6 months of experience before you would qualify for that. And we will train. So if you only have tractor trailer experience, but say it's in like refrigerated or van, we can train you for the flatbed. We just require the over-the-road tractor trailer experience. It doesn't have to be flatbed, it just has to be tractor trailer. Preferably, obviously, flatbed, and we usually are able to start you a little bit more if you have flatbed experience versus just tractor trailer, and you're going into flatbed. Now for the refrigerated divisions, we do hire directly from PTDI certified schools, as long as we have an available trainer. And that's something that you'll want to check with your recruiter on, make sure that what's available currently out of your area. But normally it's 1 month of over-the-road experience or a PTDI certified school. Otherwise, if you have experience in tractor trailer and you're not going to need to go with a trainer, so you have 5-6 months, you can do an extended road test to test out of going with the trainer, and then you'll be going solo. And our solo positions, of course, it depends on where you live, but for the refrigerated division, solo is going to start you anywhere from 43 to 50 cents a mile. In the Midwest, anywhere from 41 to 48 cents a mile. In the coast-to-coast division, which is more of our western over-the-road refrigerated, and that one's going to have a longer length of haul. But those would have 10 cents per diem included in the pay. So anywhere from 41 to 50 cents a mile between the two divisions. 10 cents of that's per diem, so you're not taxed on it. And then you get a penny raise every year. You'll get a penny raise after 90 days, and then every year on your anniversary too, until you cap out. Cap right now for the over-the-road is at 52, but for the more Midwest division, it's at 55 for refrigerated. Cap for flatbed is at 54 in both of those divisions. All right. Cool. Don't forget, we've got guaranteed pay in the refrigerated and the flatbed divisions in the Midwest. And we do have weekly home time. I know this comes to news for some of you, but we do have weekly home time options if you live in Los Angeles, California, Seattle, Washington, Kennewick, Washington, or Missoula, Montana. So if you want more details on that, you need to get a hold of one of the recruiters at 888-668-0698, and they'll give you some more details on the home weekly position. And then, of course, the over-the-road position, you can expect a little bit more miles for the coast-to-coast division, a longer length of haul on that one as well. All of our equipment is newer model. We talked about, obviously, our trailers, making sure that you're doing pre-trips and whatnot on those. But our trailers are newer, as well as our trucks. So average age of the trailers is about 3 years. Average age of our trucks is about 18 months. If you have more questions on those and you want to know more details on the type of trailer, on the type of equipment, availability, then feel free to give us a call, 888-668-0698. Now for the trucks themselves, in the refrigerated division, you're seeing more of the 579 Pete's, some Cascadia Evolutions, more of the Volvo 730 and 760s for the refrigerated division. And for the flatbed, you're seeing more 730s for the Volvo 730s, 740s, and then the 579 Peterbilts as well. And so, yeah, that's the gist on the tractor trailers, or on the tractors themselves. They are all automatics. They do all come equipped with the APUs and the inverters, the CB units, navigation, which is company paid, Sirius radio, all the equipment's there. It's not company paid. However, if you refer 2 or more drivers within 2019, it is company paid for 12 months. And then we also have, we have got the Smart Drive system, inward and outward facing event recorders, a lane departure device, the onboard scanners. I'm trying to think of what else I may have missed. Now, not all of our trucks yet, but to be, all have the TVs, the microwaves, and the Epic View satellite television. So those are, last I checked, we're over 250 that have been installed, so we're over a quarter of the way through, but we still have more to do. So we'll get the rest of those installed. We think that we'll be completely done with them by the end of the first quarter. So somewhere around March or so, mid-March, into March, we should have 100% of our trucks equipped with with Epic View, the TV, and the microwaves. Those are the only those three things are not in 100% of our trucks yet. They will be. So please be patient, and thank you for your patience, for all of you who have patiently been waiting. And I know a lot of you have been pretty excited to get your new truck. We're working on getting everybody in. Obviously, you know, getting some of that seniority makes a difference too, and getting you routed to where one of those trucks are available when you're there is a big difference, or a big must. We do have a dedicated position out of Fort Dodge, which would get you home nightly. It actually daily. It's a night position. It's 11 p.m. and it runs from Fort Dodge, Iowa to Blair, Nebraska, and back and forth. It runs 2 days on and 2 days off, and then 3 days on and 3 days off, and then back to 2 on, 2 off. So it's a constant rotation, which allows for every other weekend being off. So you're off every other weekend. But the weekends that you're on, so the Saturday and Sunday that you're working, instead of getting the $250 per shift, you'll be making $275 per shift. So $275 per shift. It starts at 11 p.m. and then it goes to, it just depends if you're running a backhaul on the way back, but it goes from Fort Dodge to Blair, Nebraska. It is slip seating, so be aware of that as well. It is a slip seating position. I have that one. Is there an 8 p.m. as well, Anna? I was thinking there is an 8 p.m. that's now available for that, but they're staying busy with that. So that's a hopper position. If I didn't already mention that, that's a hopper position running from Fort Dodge to Blair, Nebraska. If you live in Fort Dodge and you're looking for good home time, we do have, besides the hopper position, we also have the short haul pay, or the short haul pay, yeah, but short haul position, which is flatbed, can get you home. Sometimes daily, sometimes every other day. It just depends on the load that you're coming out on. But definitely good home time. And it's a guaranteed pay of $1,000. If you live in Omaha, Fort Dodge, if you live in Sioux Falls or Sioux City, those are all areas. And they have different home times because, again, it depends on where you live. But Sioux Falls is usually 3 times a week. And Fort Dodge, obviously, Omaha is more often for that weekly home time. Or for that home time each week. Cool. All right. Well, we're coming up on an hour, and I do want to thank you guys for sticking here with me and helping to answer some of these questions on our pre-trip. If you guys have any other questions or if you have any input that you'd like to share, I should have mentioned earlier, we'd love to get your input on how you do your pre-trips, and so that you're consistent with them, so that we can share that with everybody else and be consistent with it as well. But again, do your proper pre-trips. Make sure that you're looking out for yourself and others. It is not only your responsibility in the safety change of life, but also for it's your responsibility, your duty as a driver, a professional driver. So again, if you have any questions on any of the positions that we have available, you can contact our recruiting department at 888-668-0698. You can also apply online at drivedecker.com. Every Tuesday at noon Central, we are here live answering some questions for you and giving you a whole lot of information as well. And a little update on some of the games. Don't forget, speaking of games, today is the very last day you can get your 2020 photo submissions in for our contest, our photo contest for our calendar. Today, last day, today. Get them in, marketing@deckermail.com. And then we've got the Halloween costume contest, the display contest, and the pumpkin carving contest coming to an end next week. Is it next week? Yeah, the 1st. So that's going to be Friday. So get them all in by Friday so we can make the announcement on Monday. All right, you guys, you have been awesome. Don't forget, Mondays at 4 p.m. Central, we go live on our Facebook channel. And if you aren't already following us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure that you're doing both of those. And that way you will most definitely get any reminders of information that's going on here at Decker Truckline. So thanks again, you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Please be safe. And 5 p.m. on November 1st, that is the deadline. Do